Hey everyone, it's Nick Campbell. So the True Detective Season 2 finale was very interesting and important for cultural reasons. And I'll go over with you why I feel like the impact of Omega Station should be fondly reflected upon. But first, let me tell you why it was a piece of First, do you like how I dressed up for the finale? French cuffs. Be impressed. I'm like a GQ spread from 1987. So you watched the episode, I watched the episode, and it ended in the only way a season like this could. Disappointingly, and by belaboring every single point. A friend of mine, Dan, messaged me about 45 minutes in, saying they had no idea how they were going to fill the remaining 45. But they did. They sure did. You know what, let's just rush through the episode real quick. Here's the episode in 60 seconds.
Or less.
But probably more. You know that thing where you have sex once and then share all your most horrific memories? Frank tried to neg Jordan into a car to Venezuela, but instead they talked about meeting each other in 2 weeks.
Or less.
And there goes Austin Chisani. Night-night, termite. Laura's brother Len, the photographer from the movie shoot, is the guy that capped Ray in the beginning, and Laura buries the lead.
He's going there to kill Holloway.
Laura gets on a bus, Frank sets up to get wild, and Volcora goes to the shiny Arctic station to stop Len from doing something stupid.
I am the blade and the bullet.
Only to set him up for doing something stupider. So wait, did Casper shtup his own daughter? Oh boy. Anyway, it all becomes a hideous disaster because police are stupider here than anywhere else on television. Frank gives Ray a pep talk to a massacre, while Ray and Ani pretend they're star-crossed lovers after one night alone, which speaks more to the pretentiousness of the writer than it does to the credibility of the characters. Ray and Frank get revenge on the businessmen that set them up, and it goes surprisingly well. Unfortunately for Osip, he said the one thing that makes Frank want to repeatedly shoot you in the face.
You're like my son.
Ray does the stupidest thing, and then notices the transponder using the only water left in the valley. Mexicans come for Frank, and he asks a fair question.
Why?
Frank ends up in the desert, Ray drives up to the redwoods from LA, like a Hanukkah miracle on a single tank of gas, and Ears helps fulfill Ray's flash sideways prophecy. Frank fulfills his destiny of dying because of his tragic flaw, but he still gets to show up in a white shirt with a rose, because he's dead. Chad is remarkably Ray's kid, Paul gets his own highway, bad guys still win, and Ani hopes to take the whole thing down by giving a reporter everything that she has. Did I mention that Ani got pregnant from that one night? Okay, well now Jordan and Ani are raising a baby together, and Lara Lynn takes us out of this depressing hellscape. And that's a wrap on season 2. So why was this episode so terrible? Part of it was length. I'd imagine that many of you are like me and Dan, looking at our watches about 45 minutes in, wondering why they were taking so long. It seems like a lot of this could have been wrapped up in an hour. Like if they excised the Volcarides thing and kept the pace going, rather than stop and stew in the emotional states of everything. Normally I'd say the stewing wouldn't be a bad thing, but that's usually when I'm not constantly hoping that a clock would drain out on the show already. While I like Lara Lynn, and I thought her music created a lot of really great atmosphere, I could have done with fewer 1,000-yard stare montages. And then there's the absurdity of the characters and their dialogue and in their behavior. Like when everyone had to needlessly talk in a whisper. And the all-around corniness.
We get the world we deserve.
Because we deserve a better world.
And finally, it was about how the episode ended. There were no twists. All the people that you knew were going to die eventually died. All the people that you knew would make it lived to tell the tale. You knew that once Frank told Jordan that he'd meet her in 2 weeks,
Or less.
that he wasn't going to make it. And then they just pounded it into you throughout the episode, with Frank giving Ani the picture in his general non-committal language, that even he knew he wasn't going to make it. There's a drama in there, but it's mostly literary, and doesn't necessarily lend itself to great television storytelling. And all those indictments about why this episode was terrible are similar to the indictments about why this season was so clunky. The season could have been shorter by about 2 or 3 episodes. And that tightness would have been beneficial for a lot of reasons. And then there's the indictment of the language and the presentation by the characters, separate from the look of the show, which was overall very good. The language dumped the audience out of the show so often that it was hard to take it seriously. And finally, this season kind of ended in a tight little bow. That's what I want to talk about when I say this finale was interesting. There were very few unanswered questions by the end of this. Maybe the whole thing where Frank got the diamonds. But other than that, everything gets an ending, which is something that audiences and fans clamor for. Now you have a show where every mystery was unraveled. Granted, the mythology wasn't very deep after only 8 episodes, but do you feel better about the show now that you know everything? Or would you be better off not having wasted time on some things? Michael Lombardo said that this was a very satisfying ending. One of the most satisfying endings he's ever seen. Are you satisfied? The other reason why I think this is at least temporarily culturally significant is that it brought us all together in a unified expression of lament. We were all mostly dissatisfied with what we were watching, but we kept on watching because we all expected more, even when we knew nothing was coming. There was a sliver of hope because of True Detective's cultural capital. And now there's a question of whether that cultural capital was earned, or if we just experienced a bubble burst. Did we invest too heavily in Pizza Lotto futures? Were the problems that we let slide last season bigger than they seem to be. Now that we have all the pieces of the puzzle, we're in a place where we can finally look back, fairly and justly, and consider whether we are victims of an echo chamber, the same one that purported Nick Pizzolatto to be the tortured poet of Hollywood, or if a talented artist just laid an egg. Which happens. I guess we'll see in season 3, right? You'll see me there. I'll be the one in a white suit and a rose. Thanks for watching. Summer is too hot for this. How do people do this every day? Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more of these kinds of videos, go ahead and subscribe because I'm going to keep making them, even if I don't know which show I'm doing next. But if you have any ideas, go ahead and suggest them in the comments. Yeah, thanks for watching.